I was just wondering because the violation.
Good afternoon. I now call Special Magistrate to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome to the Hillsborough County Code Enforcement Special Magistrate hearing. When addressing the magistrate, please state your name, address, and speak clearly into the microphone. If you are planning to speak during this hearing, you must sign the speakers list located at the front door so you can be called. Any person who decides to appeal a decision of a Code Enforcement Special Magistrate will need a record of the proceedings. The record is comprised of the testimony and evidence upon which an appeal is based. It is your responsibility to ensure the verbatim record of the proceedings is made. By law, you have 30 days from the date of my order to appeal my decision to Circuit Court. Presentations by the county, respondents, and opposition must be kept to a maximum of 10 minutes each. I may recess at 12:30 and reconvene. We still have to change that line. So after 1:30. I'm going to scratch it right now. That's all right. I got you. Basic process for this hearing is as follows. Ms. Meyer will conduct the oath of witness, and your case will be announced. Staff will present their evidence on your case, and then you'll be allowed to rebut that evidence and explain what has occurred. I'll close the hearing and announce the decision. I may ask questions and allow other witness testimony if necessary. Depending on my order, the county may have later to conduct an inspection to see if you've complied. If the staff believes you have not complied, you'll receive a notice in the mail. By law, you have 10 days to contest that notice. Otherwise, it will be considered correct and a lien may be filed against your property. For false alarm or water resource cases, if you have not complied by paying the past due burglar alarm fine or water resources penalty fine within the time ordered, you will receive a notice in the mail. By law, you have 10 days to contest that notice. Otherwise, it will be considered correct and a lien may be filed against your property. If you have any questions, these rules are outlined by Hillsborough County Codes of Ordinances and Laws, Chapter 14, Article 2, Section 14. And before we begin, please silence all electronic devices. We are ready for the oath.
County staff who will testify, please stand to take the oath of witness. And if you're online, raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
First case, please.
First case is on page 2 under false alarm cases. Number 1, BA 129532. The owner is Roderick McCown, 6726 Holly Heath Drive. We have service and no one is present.
This is Tina Burney, Hillsborough County Compliance Communities and Conservation. Case BA 129532, data false alarm 9/11/22, 9/17/22, 11/4/22, 12/3/22. Amount due $625. No additional outstanding violations.
I rule in case BA 129532, the base of the onus presented the violator has failed to pay the false alarm penalty fine imposed by County Ordinance 04-16. I grant the violator 14 days to pay the fine imposed. Order of payment is not made by that date. A fine of $50 per calendar day be assessed.
Number 2, BA 64133. This case complied June 13th. Number 3, BA 7749A, complied June 21st. Page 3, number 4, BA 111234. The owner, Jeanette Bunton and Ike Bunton, 405 Crichton Street. We have service and no one is present.
Case BA 111234, data false alarm 12523, 12623. Amount due $175, and there's an additional $150 from May of 23.
I rule in case BA 111234 that based on the evidence presented, the violator has failed to pay the false alarm penalty fine imposed by County Ordinance 04-16. I grant the violator 14 days to pay the fine imposed. Order if payment is not made by that date, a fine of $20 per day be assessed.
Number 5, BA 129693. The owner is Mid-America Apartments LP, and the violator is Cypress Manor Apartments, 8891 Cypress Manor Drive. We have service and no one is present.
Case BA 129693, data false alarm 12/23/22, amount due $100, no additional outstanding violations.
I rule in case BA 129693 that based on the evidence presented, the violator has failed to pay the false alarm penalty fine imposed by County Ordinance 04-16. I grant the violator 30 days to pay the fine imposed. Order if payment is not made by that date, a fine of $15 per calendar day be assessed.
Number 6, BA 116258, complied June 5th, 2023. Page 4, number 7, BA 131173. The owner is REIT4 Retail 2 LLC. The violator, Good Hands Home Health Care Providers, 1753 West Fletcher Avenue. We have service and no one is present.
Case BA 131173, data false alarm 14/23, amount due $75, no additional outstanding violations.
I rule in case BA 131173 that based on the evidence presented, the violator has failed to pay the false alarm penalty fine imposed by County Ordinance 04-16. I grant the violator 30 days to pay the fine imposed. Order if payment is not made by that date, a fine of $15 per calendar day be assessed.
Number 8, BA 131190, complied June 12, 2023. Number 9, BA 132673. The owner is Tampa Ventures Alliance LLC, and the violator Provisions Coffee, 2816 East Bears Avenue. We have service and no one is present.
Case BA 132673, data false alarm 13/23, amount due $75, and there's additional $100 from July 23.
I rule in case BA 132673 that based on the evidence presented, the violator has failed to pay the false alarm penalty fine imposed by County Ordinance 04-16. I grant the violator 14 days to pay that fine imposed. Order if payment is not made by that date, a fine of $25 per day be assessed.
Page 5, number 10, BA 85323, complied May 16, 2023. And that concludes the false alarm cases. Page 6, under water ordinance cases, number 11, WR 2300451. The owner is Parlamentals and Associates USA Corporation, 7623 Karen Road. We have service and no one is present.
Good afternoon, David Kanzler, Hillsborough County Code Enforcement. On Tuesday, the 7th of March of 2023 at 0540, Officer Spriggs arrived at 7623 Karen Road and observed the sprinkler systems on. The assigned watering days are Mondays and Thursdays before 8 a.m. and after 6 p.m. This is a violation of watering on restricted day. The event is the second offense for this location. The notice of violation went out on the 8th of March. The case went into default on the 7th of April. The notice of hearing was issued on the 26th of May, and the fine's $100. It has been warned in February of this year.
That's the only other.
Yes.
Okay.
Just a courtesy warning in February.
Okay, thanks. I rule in case WR 2300451 that based on the evidence presented, the violator has failed to pay the water resource penalty fine for illegal sprinkling imposed by Section 111-7 Hillsborough County Codes of Ordinances and Laws, Part B, Public Utilities. I grant the violator 30 days to pay the water penalty fine imposed. Order if payment is not made by that date, a fine of $15 per calendar day be assessed.
Number 12, WR 2300466. The owner is Johnny S. White, 10327 Malvasia Avenue. We have service and no one is present.
Yes, good afternoon. David Kanzler, Hillsborough County Code Enforcement on case WR 2300466. On Friday, the 3rd of March of 2023 at 0440 hours, Officer Baker arrived at 10327 Malvasia Avenue and observed the sprinkler system on in the front yard. The assigned watering days are Wednesdays and Saturdays before 8 a.m. and after 6 p.m. This is a violation of watering on a restricted day. This is the second offense at this location. Previously, it was February of this year. They were issued a warning. The notice of violation went out on the 8th of March. It went into default in April 19th. The notice of hearing was posted at the property on the 28th of June. The fine is $100.
Hearing ruling case WR 2300466, that based on the evidence presented, the violator has failed to pay the water resources penalty fine for illegal sprinkling imposed by section 111-7 Hillsborough County Codes of Ordinances and Laws, Part B, Public Utilities, and grant the violator 30 days to pay the water penalty fine imposed. Order of payment is not made by that date. A fine of $15 per calendar day be assessed.
Number 13, WR 2300561. The owner is Odalis Riches and Timothy Williams, 9813 Cabernet Avenue. We have service and no one is present.
David Kanzler, Hillsborough County Code Enforcement, on case WR 2300561. On Wednesday, the 15th of March of 2023 at 07:19 hours, Officer Whaley arrived at 9813 Cabernet Avenue to observe the sprinkler system was operating in the front yard. The assigned watering days are Mondays and Thursdays before 8 a.m. and after 6 p.m. This is a violation of watering on a restricted day. This is the second offense. It was initially warned in February of 2023. The notice of violation was issued on the 16th of March. It went into default the 19th of April, and then it was noticed for hearing on the 27th of June. The fine is $100.
Thank you. The ruling case WR 2300561, that based on the evidence presented, the violator has failed to pay the water resources penalty fine for illegal sprinkling imposed by section 111-7 Hillsborough County Codes of Ordinances and Laws, Part B, Public Utilities. I grant the violator 30 days to pay the water penalty fine imposed. Order of payment is not made by that date. A fine of $15 per calendar day be assessed.
Thank you, Magistrate.
Thank you.
And that concludes the water resource cases. Turn to page 7, number 14, landscaping and natural resource cases. Case number L174323. The owner is Marlon Briggs, 3608 Burglar Road. We have service and someone is here for this case.
Come on up.
Come up to the podium. Raise your right hand, please. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
And state your name and address.
Marlon Briggs, 3608 Burger Road, Lutz, 33548.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Cameron Ward, Environmental Specialist with Hillsborough County Natural Resources, presenting case L174323. Owner violator Marlon Briggs, violation address 3608 Burger Road, Tampa, violation observed, unpermitted removal of 30 oak trees measuring a total of 370 inches DBH and 3 pine trees measuring 13, 16, and 19 inches DBH for a total of 418 inches DBH of tree removals. Environmental supervisor reducted total DBH to 205 inches in SFR 86316-2, dated December 27, 2022. Ordinance violated section 4.01, first inspection January 4, 2017, first notice January 12, 2017, last inspection June 30, 2023, inspections conducted 3. I'll now turn it over to the inspector.
Wayne Doyle, Hillsborough County Natural Resources. Next slide. Lori Moretta was the initial inspector on this case. The images that I have come from Property Appraiser. February 19, 2016 on the left, that shows the single-family lot prior to tree removals. On March 4, 2018, it gives you a resemblance of what trees were removed. Next slide. Another aerial. They do have a LAL permit to build in this house. This just shows where the house fit in for the tree removals. Next slide. On January 4, 2017, Lori Moretta went out to this property for unpermitted tree removals. Staff, upon arrival, measured stumps on the property from this recent tree removal activity. She came up after measuring the stumps with 418 inches DBH. Next slide. just some more pictures of the tree removals and tree debris on the site that day. Next slide. This is my recheck on June 30th, 2023. I didn't say any new replantings. The house is not complete yet. Still hasn't got a CO. Next slide. This was the single family permit that was issued that reduced the total inches to 205 dB replacement inches. This must be satisfied prior to the issuance of the certificate of occupancy. Next slide.
These are the staff recommendations for case L174323. Plant/donate 205 inches DBH of approved shade restoration trees or contribute $13,325 to the restoration fund or combination of planting/donations and contribution to the fund within 120 calendar days. Trees must be 1 inch DBH or larger, a minimum of 8 feet in height, Florida grade number 1, chosen from the Hillsborough County approved tree list as appropriate. Contribution to the fund equates to $65 per DBH inch. The owner will be responsible for this violation. Fines will be issued for failure to meet timeframes.
Mr. Ward, our folks downtown wanted to know who was giving that part of the presentation. I guess I didn't catch your name. Can you restate who you are?
Oh, yes, Cameron Ward, Environmental Specialist with Hillsborough County Natural Resources.
Thank you very much. Okay, sir. What would you like to add?
When I received the violation from Lori Moretta, and then I received it in the mail, I went to
This is back in,
the code enforcement, 2017.
that's a long time ago.
Okay, it's a long time ago, 2017. So Krista Hall was the one that I spoke to about, and I had told her I was building a home there. You know, I should have got the permit for the $81.25. Back then it was only $54, but I didn't. Okay, that's my bad. But she said to me, I'll credit you anything that falls in the footprint of where your home is. And I said, okay, well, I methodically only cut out where my house was going to go. So I was like, okay. She goes, well, bring me a site plan with a stump survey and X out every stump that's in your site plan. She actually said, make sure you put your patio, your drain field, your driveway, put all that on there. And I said, okay. So it was probably like 6 weeks later by the time I got the site plan to be able to mark it up and take it in there. And when I took it into her and I said, and I went through it, I said, well, you know, I didn't just go cut trees everywhere. I was cutting it for this house to put this house in this certain area. And when I showed her everything, I said, I have where there was only 4 trees outside the site plan that I submitted. And this was her words, well, I can't credit you all of them. And I said, well, that's not what you told me. You told me you would credit me anything that fell into the footprint of the home. And you're the one that told me to put the patio, the driveway, the drain field. She told me to do that. So she says, I'll have to look at it and get back to you. I said, okay. So it was that day I was submitting to LAL, Land Altercation, the site plan of the home. You got to be approved for it. And Mona Hamilton was the person who represented them. And I sat down and she could tell I was upset about this that just happened. You know, they're fining me $27,000. You know, I'm not a rich man. And she said, let me see your site plan. So I showed her the site plan and she says, well, and I quote verbatim, I wouldn't worry about it. It looks to me you have more than enough trees on your property to compensate for the ones you cut. So the total trees on my property were 216. I still have 183 trees left on this property. And like I said, there was probably, 4 to 8 trees outside the site plan of the footprint of the home and the driveways and everything. So, and I argued that, and I had went to a hearing with Lori Moretta, and there was another woman there, and she pretty much was saying that, well, if you don't pay this $13,325, you're not going to get your CO. And I said,
So they reduced it at that hearing for you already.
It was reduced from the 418 original, and then when she said that she couldn't, I was supposed to be credited for what was in the footprint. Well, the 205 isn't crediting me everything that's in the footprint. It's only crediting me like 1/3 of what's in the footprint. So I went through everything and drew everything up. And on some of the rules that they have for natural resources is if I can salvage what's on the, if I can, how you say it? If I can do anything to pertain to saving anything that's supposed to be taken out of my site plan to put this home in, they would credit me. I should be credited that. That's the statute that I see that you're on there, but they didn't want to have anything to do with that. They were all about just 205 and $13,000. And I'm like, oh, that's just unacceptable, especially for the violation. It wasn't like I went outside and started just cutting all of these kinds of trees. I mean, I only took out what I was going to need to take out that wouldn't be peril to me building the house. And I built it by myself. But in the meantime, I've had 3 strokes, a quintuple bypass. So this is why it came from 2017 to 2023. This is why it's been taking so long. And it didn't get thrown at me until when I went to get the CO, that, hey, you got to pay this. I'm like, well, that wasn't what they had told me when I went in and submitted all this stuff. They said they would look at it. And then whenever I went to pick the permit up, Joe Gross said, well, Krista says you're going to have to pay this. This is all she can do. I'm like, well, that ain't what they told me. So now they're backtracking. And then Lori was telling me that, well, Krista Hall don't work there no more. But okay, she don't work there no more. But that's not a liable sentence to me. I mean, she was just telling me this just to get rid of me.
Sure.
Well,
I spent a lot of time on this very committee with her, and I don't think that would have been her intention, knowing her
I understand that
credibility. Do you have anything in writing that you've done in this last 6 years that's shown that you had those meetings, that they told you that this is what you needed to do and what would be credited or not? Or
no, because at the time,
it was all by conversation.
It was all like in person. Like when I went in person to address.
You didn't follow up with anything to say, hey, based on our conversation, is this? You didn't send him an email? You didn't?
No, because when I got over to LAL for Mona Hamilton, Mona says, I wouldn't worry about it, Marty, because the fact is you have more than enough trees on this property to compensate for the 33 trees that you cut. So I wasn't too worried about it, so everything got submitted, and like a year and a half later, I get my permit, and then that's when they come out and go, well, you have to pay this. I'm like, well, that I'll have to fight that, because that isn't what I was told, There wasn't a number on it at that time.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm like, I just don't understand. And the site plan that I have, and I see he has it, I have the most recent one. It looks like where I cut the trees was just plop the house down where the trees used to be. So that footprint, like I said, if there was anything cut outside the footprint of the home, it was minimal. And I brought that to her attention, Krista Hall, and she said, well, I'll have to look at it. We can't credit you all of them, but that ain't what they told me. Now I'm getting backtracked on.
I understand. And look at from my perspective, right? I'm looking at this. It was already done at 400 some odd inches. It's been reduced. I'm going to ask Wayne in a second to explain that to me, why and how that process worked. But you unfortunately, you started as you mentioned at the beginning of your testimony, you started the process without that $81 permit, which would have identified this and would have quantified it, and you would have had
But
something.
do you really think the validity of that violation is $13,300?
It's based on, there is an amount, it's $65 per DBH inch. That is what it is. That's the number, unfortunately.
And then
to be honest with you, sir, if you knew that it was 400 inches and it went to 200 or whatever, and you still had heartache about it for the last 6 years, I would have been raising a flag to somebody, and I would have started with something in writing. To go 6 years, obviously, you know how it works.
Like
people retire, people move on. People don't remember. I don't remember what I said to somebody 6 years ago.
I understand.
So here we are. It's continuing to free fall to a position where we are now. And it's a large chunk of money. So,
well, what about the things that I've done since then to kind of preserve other trees that I was approved to take out to put this home in? And I preserved 111 inches of trees.
Do you have that in writing of the ones that you,
Well, it's
and they
per your
credit, they gave you
statute.
credit for?
It's per your statute.
Well, I understand it's per my statute, but you, in fairness, sir, I'm just playing devil's advocate.
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
You could walk out there and tie a rope onto any tree you want out there and say that you saved it and you saved 111 inches. What I'm looking for is something from some entity in the mothership here of Hillsborough County that said, hey, we had this conversation, this is where we went, or this is where we were going, or anything in that direction. Because as you mentioned, everybody in this process is no longer here because of the duration of time. You don't have that, do you?
Yeah, but wouldn't be because of the statute that's out there now, I should be credited anything that I preserved by moving things to preserve these trees. There was a 48-inch camphor tree that I was going to take out, and then I'm like, no, I'm going to preserve that. So I moved the driveway over 60 feet. And then instead of going straight with the driveway up by the house, I curved it 3.5 feet to go around 3 other trees.
So you made modifications?
So I made
to your-
modifications to my plans
Okay.
to kind of preserve
Okay.
other trees on the property.
Do you have the original plan and then the modification, the modified plan that you
Yes.
can, do you have a copy of it that you can
Yep.
leave with me?
Oh, yes.
Because it'll go into the record.
Yes.
Okay, while you're pulling that
All right.
up, Mr. Wayne, would you like to
Yes.
respond, please?
I would. Okay, so anytime we have an LAL, there is no tree removals allowed. Per code, there's no tree removals allowed until that permit is issued. There is no $81. That's for a regular tree removal application. The LAL permit is when we go out to evaluate the property, evaluate where the house is going to be, septic's going to be. We will mark off what trees are allowed to be gone. Anything over 24 inches while we're out there that's in fair to good condition for trees, we actually charge 50% if they're being removed. But
Okay.
no matter what, there is no tree removals, even inside the footprint. That was Krista being nice, taking off those inches. Even in the footprint,
Understand.
you cannot remove trees until that permit was issued. And the
So
permit
technically
was
the
not
LAL,
issued.
right, so technically the LAL would have remained at the 400 and some odd inches.
Yes.
Okay,
But Krista
All right.
Hall gave a reduction. We don't know why, but Krista Hall gave a reduction, so that's what we're gonna live up to for the 205 inches.
okay, understand. And anything else you want to share in regards to this process? I know it's taken this gentleman quite some time, so I don't know where you got involved or anything you want to add in regards to.
No, that's it. No, I just, like I said, I'm just the one presenting it. I'm the one that's trying to finish this out and
Close it out. Yeah,
close it out.
I understand. Okay, thanks.
I would like to ask if they would be, would credit me the inches of preservation of the trees that I did to alter the plans of the
I
driveway.
can speak on that. All right.
Okay,
So by altering the plans or by us altering the plans when we go out there to try to save trees, that's actually saving the property owner from having to pay in. Because if that camphor tree would have had to been removed, which sometimes trees have to be removed, we would have charged 50% of that tree. We don't give credit. We'll give credit for remaining trees on the property to go against the minimum landscaping. And that's what I think he's talking about, which he has plenty of trees to meet the minimum landscaping requirements for his lot. That's where
True.
that is in the code. That's stating, okay, you have 7 trees left. That takes care of your minimum landscaping. So you don't owe us any on CO.
do the trees that are in the wetland setback and the wetland count as that as well?
Wetland setback does, wetland does not.
Okay. Because there's a bunch of those there too. Okay.
They haven't even been counted. I've never even counted those.
I understand, sir. And again, I'm kind of in a rock and a hard place without any documentation at all.
Well, the documentation is the plan.
I've seen the shift, right,
Approved and shifted.
Right.
And there's like 5
Right.
trees that I preserved,
right.
to help out with these inches.
Yeah, understand.
know?
And as Mr. Doyen testified, it shouldn't have had any credit for them at all, and they've already essentially given you a 50% credit.
I just don't
On what was
understand
there, so.
where the ethical reason would be because of charging me this amount of money for, back then the permit was only like $54. For me just not having that one piece of paper, okay, I made a mistake, I had one piece of paper, but it's like I'm getting a parking ticket, but you guys are giving me 3 years in prison for this parking ticket.
Well, I think what Mr. Doyen's testimony was, it's not even really the issue of that permit. The LAL is, you can't take any of those without. So that's the reason for
But
it.
they approved me to remove them trees. She even told me to make a drawing with X's on the trees that would be removed, and I did, and they approved it. And I have the paper right here, approved.
The trees
Right there.
were removed before the permit was issued.
The permit was issued, yeah.
Yeah, but again, we're going back to what Crystal Hall told me. I'll credit you anything that falls in the footprint. Okay, we understand you're building a house.
Yeah.
Because when I told her, look, I'm building a house, she's like, oh, well, then whatever's in the footprint, we'll credit you for that. I was like, okay.
The terrible lesson to learn out of this. I mean, it's a financial one, and I understand that. And really, my hands are tied. It's already been reduced 50% from what the original was. So I have to stick with that. So I'm going to stick with the 205 dBH inches. I can give you some extra time to pay it if you want me to. I mean, they're offering 120 days.
Yeah,
I'd be happy to help if you want to.
And I just
Yeah.
can't, you know.
I mean, the trees are the trees. And next, I
Yeah.
can give you 6 months instead of 120 days.
Is there a way I can
Do
make
180.
payments to this natural resources tree
Yeah,
fund?
absolutely.
Instead
yeah.
of sitting here,
No.
trying to come up with this kind
I
of,
don't,
there's no way.
I'm not writing a check for that today, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, I get that. No, you'll get that information in the mail, and you have the ability to either pay the fund, or you can put trees back if you want to,
Yeah.
or do something else, or you
With my health
can,
condition now, yeah, I wish I
or
could.
have somebody
Or I
else.
would've done.
I don't know, but you can do a combination of, or you can just pay the money, or so. But yeah, but I'll give you 180 days instead of 120 days to get that complete, and then through the process.
But
once
in
you get
that 6 months, can I make payments towards this $13,325?
Absolutely, yeah, you'll get the paperwork in the mail, and
Okay.
I don't believe you have to pay
I
it all
don't
at
think I'll be
once.
able to make that payment in 6 months, though.
Well, we're gonna have to work towards that.
And then we'll have to address it after the 6 months.
No, after 6 months, it'll be due. So then there'll be fines if you don't pay.
Yeah, but I don't know if I'll be able to make that kind of money in 6 months.
I don't
know?
know what to do.
I mean, you got to work with me on something with this,
I-
you know?
Yes, sir, I am.
I
I'm
mean,
giving you.
because they're
extra-
not giving me any credit for me altering the plans of the property,
Understand, sir.
you know?
So they gave you initial credit by cutting the amount of violated trees in half.
Understand?
Then they gave you 120 days to do it, and I'm giving you an extra 2 months to do it. So 6 months. I mean, I'm
Six.
assuming it's going to be your primary residence.
Yes, it will be. yeah.
Okay, so you're not going anywhere. So, and the good news is you can divide this by 6. You can put it away and pay for it on the 179th day if you want, or however you want to do it. But I can help you with the extra time, but that's about all I can
I'll
do at
probably
this
be
point.
dead by then, sir.
Well, sir, I hope that's not
Yeah.
the case with your health. I do wish you the best on that. So, but that'll be my ruling. Do you have any questions about that?
The only questions I have is, don't you hold people liable of what they tell the citizens of this county? Once you go in and you meet with them and they say one thing, and then all of a sudden you have to have it in an email, you have to have proof of it? Is that where we're
Sir,
going
you know
at
how
now?
this, you know as well as I do how this will
Yeah,
work.
because,
And
I live by the.
paper
old
trail
school.
does help. But yeah,
Yeah.
we're not spitting and handshaking anymore, unfortunately. That's
Yeah,
the world that we live in, and without the documentation, if everybody came in and told me that, I wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
Because everybody would come in and say the exact same thing. I talked to somebody and they told me something. So I'm really sorry that you got the short end of the stick on this from the process,
yeah,
and that it's taken so long, and your health, sir. I do.
I just don't see the validity of that kind of money on something that, when I have 183 trees to compensate for what I cut, and especially when it was stated by the lady that runs natural resources.
I'm terribly sorry, sir. I wish I had
So I'm just SOL again.
I don't have any other options for me
Okay, well,
at this
so what
time.
now? You're gonna send me some paperwork?
So I'm going to make a ruling, and you're going to get paperwork in the mail. Yeah, that'll tell you exactly that you have to do exactly what's basically on this screen within 6 months instead of 4 months. So
Can you give me 9 months?
I can't. I'm sorry. 6 months is much as I can do. So
Well, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
yes, sir, we
I
will.
mean, All right.
Okay, all right. Thanks, sir. I appreciate it. I rule in case L174323, the base of the evidence presented to find the property is in violation of Hillsborough County Codes of Ordinances as listed in the staff's presentation. Further, based on the gravity of the violation, the actions taken by the violator, and the violator's history, I concur with staff's recommendations, require the violator to plant, donate 205 inches DBH of approved shade restoration trees, or contribute $13,325 to restoration fund, or a combination of the planting donations and contribution to the fund within 180 calendar days. Trees must be 1 inch DBH or larger, minimum of 8 feet in height, Florida grade 1, chosen from the Hillsborough County approved tree list as appropriate. Contribution to the fund equates to $65 per DBH inch. The owner will be responsible for this violation. Failure to meet any of the timelines listed above result in a daily fine of $125 per calendar day. Next case, please.
Page 8, number 17, case number L227445. The owner is Arbor Oaks Community Association Incorporated, and the location is a HOA-owned common area. And we have service and we have someone here. Hello, raise your right hand, please. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
And state your name and address.
Gabriel Wilson, Neighborhood Community Management's address is P.O. Box 6910, Brandon, Florida 33508.
Thank you. And you are representing the
I
HOA?
want to clarify, that's our business address. We are the management company for the HOA, so different address if that's cool.
Okay, that's fine.
That's fine. That's where the mail will go.
Yes, sir.
Excellent.
And that's kind of why I'm here. So
Give me 1 second. Let them present the case, and then I'll get right back to you.
Sorry.
No problem.
Good afternoon, Cameron Ward, Environmental Specialist with Hillsborough County Natural Resources, presenting case L227445. Owner violator, Arbor Oaks Community Association, Inc., CO Synergy Real Estate. Violation address, folio 067897-6680 Brandon. Violation observed. The investigation found that one required street tree was improperly pruned to the point of effective removal. Ordinance violated section 6.06. First inspection, May 10, 2022. First notice, May 12, 2022. Last inspection, July 3, 2023. Total inspections conducted 3. I'll now turn it over to the inspector.
Good afternoon,
Afternoon,
Tony
Tony.
Hood, Hillsborough. Good afternoon. Tony Hood, Hillsborough County. Responded to a complaint that a tree had been improperly pruned. Here's a photograph of the tree to the right at the front between the sidewalk and the street, taken May 10th, 2022. Next slide. Now here's a up close into the canopy showing the epicormal growth growing from where the cuts were made. Next slide. A recheck done July 3rd, 2023 shows the tree still there and no new plantings have been planted. Next slide.
Staff recommendations for case L227445. Install the required street tree within 30 calendar days. Tree must be 1 inch DBH or larger, 6 feet in height minimum, and Florida grade number 1, chosen from the Hillsborough County approved street tree list. County approved palm trees must be 8 feet of clear trunk and at a 2-to-1 ratio. Fines will be issued for failure to meet timeframes.
Mr. Wilson, what would you like to add?
nothing to add to that. The tree will be replaced within 15 days. I do apologize. The previous management company was terminated because they did not handle this case as well as some others. The ball was dropped. We received notice of this on July 3rd. I did contact Mr. Tony Hood. He very professionally replied back right away, confirming it needed to be replaced. So we will get it taken care of within 30 days, easy, sir.
Okay, fantastic. 30 days is plenty of time then?
Yes, sir.
Fantastic. Well, I appreciate you coming down and explaining it to me. Sounds like you got it handled and appreciate you taking care of it.
All right, thank you.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
everyone. Tony, thank you for your communication.
Thank you. Have a good day.
I rule in case L227445. The base of the evidence presented, I find the property is in violation of Hillsborough County Codes or Ordinances as listed in staff's presentation. Further, based on the gravity of the violation, the action taken by the violator and the violator's history, require the violator to install the required street tree within 30 calendar days. Tree must be 1 inch DBH or larger, 6 feet in height minimum, and Florida grade 1, chosen from the Hillsborough County approved street tree list. County approved palm trees must be 8-foot clear trunk and a 2-to-1 ratio. Failure to meet any of the timelines listed above result in a daily fine of $100 per calendar day. Next case, please.
There's a fine.
Would you like to come back up? Yep. So if it's not completed within 30 days,
Oh, okay, I thought,
then there's a fine.
misunderstood.
No worries. Thank you, sir.
Page 11, number 22, case number L227616. The owner is Cynthia Jimenez, and the violator is aerial arborist. 4704 Deer Walk Avenue is the location of the violation. We have service, and we have Ms. Jimenez here. Raise your right hand, please, ma'am. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
And state your name and address.
Cynthia Jimenez, and my address is 4704 Deer Walk Avenue, Tampa, Florida, 33624.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Cameron Ward, Hillsborough County Natural Resources Environmental Specialist, presenting case L227616. Owner Cynthia Jimenez, violator aerial arborist CO Joey Sermons. Violation address 4704 Deer Walk Ave, Tampa. Violation observed, unpermitted removal of 2 30-inch DBH laurel oaks. Owner has replanted 1 1-inch DBH magnolia. Ordinance violated section 4.01, first inspection September 8, 2022, first notice October 26, 2022, last inspection June 30, 2023. Total inspections conducted 3. I'll now turn it over to the inspector.
Hello, Wayne Doyne, Hillsborough County Natural Resources. I was given this complaint. This is a Google Street View photo of the 2 laurel oaks that were in the front yard. Next slide. On September 8, 2022, I made my inspection or talked to the homeowner. I've been in contact with the homeowner the whole time. It's not the homeowner that's been the issue. But I did measure, I did come up with 2 30-inch DBH laurel oaks that were removed without a permit. Next slide. This is my recheck of the property, June 30th. No new, other than the magnolia that was replanted, which I did give credit for. A little thing about the homeowner, she was lied to by the tree company. It's not the first time this tree company's done this type of thing. As you'll see in the recommendation, I do hold the tree company in full responsibility. She did what she needed to do by replanting me a shade tree on the property. But that's all I have.
Okay. I'm afraid. Go ahead.
These are the staff recommendations for case L227616. Plant/donate 58 inches DBH of approved shade restoration trees or contribute $3,770 to the restoration fund or combination of planting/donations and contributions to the fund within 90 calendar days. Trees must be 1-inch DBH or larger, a minimum of 8 feet in height, Florida grade number 1, chosen from the Hillsborough County approved tree list as appropriate. Contribution to the fund equates to $65 per DBH inch. The violator, aerial arborist, will be responsible for this violation. Fines will be issued for failure to meet timeframes.
Sorry, I'm just reading what you provided. This gentleman you hired is a piece of work, Cynthia.
Yeah, he really is. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I went through a lot with this whole process. I mean, I had to, he almost got me too in the beginning. Like, he had me pay a deposit before he started the work, and then he didn't show up when he was supposed to show up to do the job. So then I had the payment reversed through my credit card because I'm like, you didn't show up, and I was calling him and he didn't even tell me, hey, I can't make it or anything. So I'm like, why did you have me pay a deposit and you're not even showing up when you're supposed to start the job? So he's like, oh, he made up some crazy story or whatever. I'll be there. And he ended up showing like a week later than what he was supposed to show up to start the job. But I told him this time I'm not paying you until the job is started because you're showing me you're a risk already. But anyway, I jumped ahead. But prior to that, when he came to give me the estimate of the property, he told me the trees are dying. He said, and they're really close to your house, so they're a danger to your property, which was true. They were extremely close to my property. And he said, I can get you, because I told him, well, you're going to get a permit because I don't want to get in trouble. First time I met him, that was one of my first questions when he came out to do the estimate. And he told me, yeah, I'm going to give you, he said, you need an arborist report is what you need because it is a danger to your property. So I said, okay. I had other people quote me and he was the lowest. That was obviously why I chose him. I just bought the house, first time homeowner. I'm trying to save money. So I went with him. And I got what I paid for. Yeah. So then I had to chase him down. He left me with those stumps. The price that he quoted me was supposed to be with the stump removal. And I only held back $500 for him to come back and remove the stumps. And he never came back. And I kept hunting him down. I have the screenshots that I submitted.
Yeah, I read those.
Yeah, where I'm like, hey, when are you going to come?
Entertaining.
Yeah, and I'm like, I need the stumps removed and I can get a lien on my house. I can get into trouble. And he's like, nothing's going to happen. I'm going to bring your arborist report. I'll hand deliver it to you when I come to do the stump removal. Never came back. It was like months went by. I ended up having to pay somebody $1,600 to remove the stumps because he never came back.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Wayne, where are we in regards to liability here? I mean, we're unable to find aerial arborists? Are
No,
they certified?
we had good service on them. They just didn't show up.
Oh, okay. Well, fantastic. I like that even better.
Yeah, I even have a video. It's like a 3-second video where, because we were communicating on Instagram through like the messenger thing, and he sent me like one of those videos that it disappears after you play it. But luckily, I screen recorded it. And the video, he's like showing me the board, and he's like, "See, you're up, you're up." He's like, and it shows my name and like a bunch of other people. He's like, "I'll be there, I'll be there," and he's like cursing in the video. He sounds like he's high on drugs, and so
I feel bad.
Really unprofessional.
I really feel bad.
It was a horrible experience.
Yeah, you don't want to learn the hard way.
Yeah, and he did the same thing to my neighbors. So right down the street, because they saw him removing my trees. So then, or he probably went to them more than likely, because he told me he was gonna talk to some of my neighbors, is what he told me. And as a matter of fact, he even told me that before he was gonna start the job, that he was gonna let the neighbor know that he was gonna be doing that work there, which he claimed he did. Whether he did or not, I don't know, because I know the neighbor came outside while he was doing the job and was telling him, "Hey, you're not licensed to do this, stop that," or whatever. I didn't know that the neighbor came out and did that. The other neighbor came afterwards and told me. And I'm like, I thought he knew this was happening because Joey told me he was going to let the neighbor know that he was going to be cutting the tree down.
Thanks to this job.
So he just deceived me with everything.
Thanks to this job, I don't drive by somebody taking down a tree without taking pictures and looking at them now. So
yeah,
I look completely different at the process than I did a few years ago. So
yeah.
I understand. Okay.
But yeah, he got one of the other neighbors. He left them with their stumps too for as long as I was, and then they ended up getting their stumps removed by the same people I did.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Because they saw them with those large stumps and they knocked on the door like, "Hey, your neighbor got her stumps removed. Do you want to get yours removed?" So they're like, "Yeah." So yeah, months we were waiting for this to get done. Yeah.
So they did the same thing to your neighbor? They didn't pull a permit for them either?
I don't think so. I mean, he did their
Be sure
job.
to mention to them that you've gone through this process in case they want to.
He did theirs literally the same week that he was doing mine. He was going back and forth, like from their house to mine, doing the job. Yeah, because it took several days to complete it.
All right. Mr. Reavers, do we have any information on this particular tree company? Do they have a history of this? Have we seen them before? Is there?
Wayne, do you know if that's the case, if we've had some bad experiences?
I've never actually had a code case, but I've had a lot of people.
I'm specifically looking for the violator's history here.
No, I'm not quite sure about this one.
Not her, but the this company,
Yeah,
Aerial Arborist.
Yeah, Joe, aerial arborist. Yeah, I've ran into them before, but luckily homeowners pulled the permits, but they did half the work and then left. I've heard that about 4 different places now that they never finished the job.
Okay, that's a history. That's a history I can work with.
Yeah,
Thank
and
you.
I ended up, after he did the job, unfortunately, I checked his Google reviews after. I should have probably done this before, but again, he was the cheapest out of everyone
Sure.
that quoted me, so I just went with him. But the Google reviews are amazing on him. I mean, everyone said horrible things about how unprofessional he is, and
That's disappointing. I'm
Yeah.
sorry that you had
yeah.
to deal with all that. Okay,
Yeah.
it looks like the recommendation from staff is that we hold the violator aerial arborist accountable. So that's,
Okay,
I agree with that. So that's what we'll
okay.
move forward with on this.
All right, great. Thank you
I'm
so
sorry
much.
about the frustration and
Yeah,
through the process.
I'm glad it's over.
You're
It's been a
educated
nightmare.
about it now, so
Oh, I learned a
it won't
lot.
happen again, right?
No.
Yeah, okay, all right.
Yeah,
All right, fantastic. Well, I'll go ahead and enroll. So thank you
right.
for coming down and explaining to me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so
And the
much.
documentation helps too.
thank
It's entertaining. My family gets together for dinner on Friday night. This text string will be part of our conversation. too.
Oh, I bet.
Thank you very much.
All right.
All right, thank you. All right. I rule in case L 227616 that based on the evidence presented, I find the property is in violation of Hillsborough County Codes of Ordinances listed in staff's presentation. Further, based on the granted violation, the action taken by the violator and the violator's history, I concur with staff's recommendations and require the violator aerial arborist to plant, donate 58 inches DBH of approved shade restoration trees or contribute $3,770 to the restoration fund or a combination of plantings / donations and contributions to the fund within 90 calendar days. Trees must be 1 inch DBH or larger, a minimum of 8 feet in height, Florida grade 1, chosen from the Hillsborough County approved tree list as appropriate. Contribution to the fund equates to $65 per DBH inch. Failure to meet the 90-day deadline above will result in a daily fine of $750 per calendar day. Next case, please.
Turn to page 12 under our right-of-way cases. Number 24, case number ROWV-22025. The owner is Randall Mechanical LLC. Location 6802 Causeway Boulevard. This is a staff report to address an issue with the order that had already been issued at a previous hearing. I believe you may have.
Is there someone present for this one?
There is someone present.
Okay. Excellent.
We do have service and someone is present.
Fantastic.
Come on up. And raise your right hand, please. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
And state your name and address.
Tina Maria Loyan,
Address?
401 East Palm Avenue, Tampa, Florida, 33602.
And you're representing Randall Mechanical?
I'm the broker that's
Okay.
been contracted with.
Thank you.
Excellent. Okay.
Yes,
Good afternoon, Ricardo.
yes, good afternoon. I'm Ricardo Carnero, Capital Program Railway Public Work. This is the case ROWB 22025. Violator company Random Mechanic LLC. Violation address 6802 Causeway Boulevard, Tampa, Florida 33619. Violation observed, unauthorized railway access. Ordinance section violate, AC section 92-22, Hillsborough County Railway Use Procedure Manual. The first inspection was January 9, 2017. The first notice of violation, January 12, 2017. The second NOV, February 2, 2018. The third NOV, August 9, 2021. Posted NOV June 2022. Last inspection February 2, 2023. Total number of inspection 6. This is a Google Map 2015 without violation condition. This is the photo January 9, 2017 to access the property. The next one is July 26, 2021. Was post June 2022. February 2, 2023, the inspection before the deferred presentation on the hearing before. And the last one is the photo July 11, 2023, still open the access, still the same violation condition. The staff recommendation is a need to coordinate Development Service Department and submit the right-of-way use permit. One permit has issued, the remedial work must be completed, and final approval obtained within 13 calendar days.
Okay, just to clarify why this case is here, and I apologize, we
That's
didn't
okay.
have a history with this. This case was first heard at the hearing on February 10th, 2023, and an order was issued to come into compliance within 45 days to submit the right-of-way permit application, and then 45 days from the permit issuance to complete the work. Somehow the fine was inadvertently left off and not mentioned in the order, so I suppose they're not in compliance and there's no fine.
Oh, okay.
I believe that's why they requested we bring it back to the agenda.
So $1 million.
Okay.
Yeah. Too much? Okay, all right. All right, ma'am, what would you like to add? Anything? You're just coming
No, I
back
just,
down, or?
well, I got involved this year as the broker to sell the property. And so a lot of this started when they first purchased it to be used as, I guess, work, industrial use, because the whole area is similar to that. But it came from neighbors that have houses still in the area that, brought it to the attention of the code ordinance. So the letter that I have from May 9, 2017, they were attempting to get it rezoned and bring it through for a PD, and it did get stopped. And further, I've been trying to market it. Everyone looking at it is for industrial uses, period. I mean, it's just almost impossible to get it sold
So
without.
they're not going to want it without having that additional access?
Well, I had Hillsborough County actually put a contract on it for residential, and they ended up having to back out of it because there's no sewer on the street. So there's a ton of problems just with that whole area of sewer and water and zonings and mixed-use zonings and homes that are still there mixed in with other industrial uses. So I guess what it comes down to is God's on my side right now because I got an offer from someone who wants to house there as this area kind of comes into whatever it's going to become. And I'm just asking that you give us some time. I have just put it under contract, and we're going to close it in probably 90 days. And it will be a house, and they will use it for their own, residential uses. And we will work to fix whatever the issue is, but we just need a little bit of time with that.
Okay, so
I just wanted you to know the issues I've come
Sure.
across just from being a third party
Yep.
involved. So I can understand where this owner, he bought it thinking he could use it for this stuff. And if you look at the land and the pictures they took, the two entrances into the property, they're far enough from the street that there's no, it doesn't make any problems on the main street itself. I mean, these are literally ingress and egress into the property, but I guess the way they did it created an issue.
yeah, you can't.
And that's how, so it needs to be rectified.
Sure. Those are the only two issues, and those are the only two entrances, and both of them are in violation from a right-of-way standpoint?
They don't have any way to get onto the
parcel is
property.
Inaccessible.
Yeah.
Correct.
So, I mean, it has to have an ingress, and I don't know what that is, but they're going to live there in the house, and we will do whatever it is that we need to do to fix it, but we need some solution. So everything that they try to do the PD, they got cut down on that. They try to do something, every time they turn around, they're basically getting their hand slapped, but with no solution.
Question for right-of-way, if this turns into a single-family home, will there be an ability for them to apply for access for this parcel through the right-of-way?
Yes, in this case, she need to apply for the right-of-way use permit. And when she apply, we'll see the development service is going to review, is this gonna be residential or commercial business there? And I'm going to do the best orientation according with the proposed. So basically, they need to apply for permit, even that they don't going to do nothing, only for restore the county right-of-way.
Right.
The current zoning is RSC9, so it is residential zoned.
But, and you'll be able to put a single-family home on
It
a,
already has a home on it.
oh, it does?
Yeah. So they're going to restore it for, fixing it up or whatever, because it's just been used as office space for the current user.
Okay,
I mean, that's as good as it gets for it, for this almost 3-acre parcel on Causeway that has industrial surrounding it in every direction.
options are awfully limited. So.
Yeah.
Okay. And you think they'll close in 90 days?
Yes.
So,
They're pre-approved and it looks very good. So I need a little help with this too. And I'm willing to try to get them to do whatever needs to be done. But that would be good for a homeowner to get on there.
okay. How about we do this? How about I continue this case for 120 days? That'll give you the time to close on the parcel.
Mm-hmm.
And then within that extra time that I've given you before our hearing on November the 9th, on November the 9th, you can submit for a right-of-way permit.
Okay.
And that way it'll already be, I can't require you to do that.
Where do we
but I
go
can
for
highly
that?
suggest that you start that process after you close.
Okay, do I find out? Okay.
Yep. Ricardo can help you with that. And then you can start that process. And then when you come back to me on November the 9th, you can give me an update and we can go
Okay.
from there. If nothing's moved at that point, then we'll move forward with you've got to submit and you've got to remove everything. If
Do you need any of this information or no?
if you
Okay.
want to share it, you
It's,
can. If
it's
not,
fine,
it's-
whatever's, or
I'd be
whatever.
happy to take a look at it. If
Sure.
you want it for to be on record, that's fine. And to the young ladies and they'll pass it around to me. But it sounds like that's the easiest option at this point, and we'll just continue it for 120 days.
Are you going to rescind the previous order?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. So we will,
Okay.
there was no fines associated with it anyway. So
No.
we'll rescind the previous order. We'll continue this case, ROWV 22025 for 100, well, to the November 9th hearing. Guess that's only 118 days. But then when you come back in November, we'll be able to talk about what's happened to the property and your process moving forward on the rest.
Okay, perfect, thank
Okay.
you.
Excellent, thank you.
Yes, I'm gonna give you the list, the people that you need to contact to get the right-of-way permit.
So moved. I mean, I can make it official. I move on case ROWV 22025 that based on the evidence presented and the testimony of the broker, I move to rescind the previous order and continue this case to the November 9th, 2023 hearing. You're welcome. Next case, please.
Next case is on page 14, number 28, case number ROWV-23014. The owner is Verna Faye Glenn, 4435 Lurleen Circle. We have service and someone is here for this case. Can somebody maybe
Sorry,
pull
what
a
is the
chair-
case number?
Pull up a chair so she
Yeah,
can,
can we get a chair for this
and bring the microphone
young lady
down.
to sit and maybe pull the microphone down? Yeah, please. Thanks, John.
Can you see her? She sits there?
Yeah, right. You said, yeah, that's fine. Perfect. There you go.
Hi, raise your right hand, please. And if the young man will be testifying, also, will you be testifying, sir? Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Okay, and I need both of you to state your name and address, please.
Can you tilt that microphone
Yeah,
down?
bring
for
that
her for
close
me?
to
Yeah.
her. Mhm.
Pull that if you can a little closer. Thank you, sir.
Burner, Bay Glen, 4435, Burner Circle, Tap Road, 33610.
Thank you.
Great. And you, sir?
Willie Williams, 4435 Lurline Circle.
Thank you. Okay, Ricardo?
Yes. Good afternoon. I'm Ricardo Carnero, Capital Program, Right Away Public Work. This is the case of violation right away, ROWB 23014. Violation address 4535 Lorne, Sir, Tampa, Florida 33610. Violator name, Glenn Bernard Fay. Violator, Sir, unpermitted parking and damage to the side of the right of way. Ordinance section violate AC section 92-22 of Hillsborough County right of way use procedure manual. The first inspection was on June 3rd, 2022. The first notice of violation, June 6, 2022. The second notice, April 2023. The first mail posted April 19, 2023. Last inspection, July 11, 2023. Total number of inspection 5. That's the first is a Google Map 2018 with the condition before. The next one is that the damage on the right of way. Next one, April 19, 2023. The day they posted violation, April 19, 2023. So this is inspection July 13, yesterday, and the site was completely restored. There is no more damage in that part, but it's still need to replace sat in front of the property in the left side, and it's not permitted car inside the crossing the county right away over the sidewalk. So our staff recommendation, the homeowner must be restored the damaged sack on the shoulder of the right of way area due to the crossing of the car parked on the property. Remedial work must be completed, and the right of way final inspection must be approved within 30 calendar days.
Okay. Ricardo, can you back up to the pictures? Because I don't think I clearly understand what the violation is here, and maybe the homeowner does not as well. So do you have a picture directly behind the car to show what the issue is? Is that the portion that needs to be restored?
Yes, this is the only pending in this case because the other part was restored. And it's erosion over the roadway. Just is the only part, and it's not supposed to be crossing the car over the sidewalk.
That's our yard.
Where is the, do you have a picture from straight on behind the car?
I can show you that picture like that there on my phone of the house.
You have pictures on your phone?
Yeah, you trying to see like the house right behind.
Unfortunately, if you have pictures on your phone, I have to confiscate your phone as part of the evidence. You have to leave it with me. So unless you want me to keep it.
And
I've been looking for a new phone.
be sure and speak into the microphone
Yeah,
when
you'll
you
have to-
talk.
I'm sorry, you'll
No,
have to bend
sir.
over so everybody can hear you, so.
No, sir.
No. But you don't want to, what you're saying is you don't want to give me your phone?
No, sir.
Okay, all right. Let's see if we can figure this out without that then. Okay. Ricardo, can you grab a piece of paper and just, can you leave those with me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, this young lady will come get them for you.
Picture that he trying to show you.
But I have to bend down to talk into the microphone for my folks
Picture he
downtown.
trying to show you. You can see it better right there on that on the picture that I took with my phone.
Fantastic. Thank you, Mr. Williams. I appreciate it. Let's see what we got here. I'm having a tough time seeing what this little spot is that we need to,
We're gonna say that's in the yard.
yeah, this all looks fantastic. So we're,
Yeah, look great. This is not your property, not the same?
You know, what I'm saying, sir, where you see my girlfriend, my fiance, Lexus parked that's in our yard. Okay, you saying we have to cross over the sidewalk to get in our yard? But where's we blocking the right of way? The grass, there's never been no grass in that little section right there. We've been living in the house for 30-some years. That grass always been like little grass, little dirt around the stop sign. Now by a mailbox, grass, and in the
Is-
front of the house. Now, on the side, where you got the pictures right there,
Yep.
you got to think about it. We stayed by Roberts Elementary
It
School.
looks good.
Kids, people, they pull on the side of the
sorry.
road.
Kids.
Pick up their kids. No, parents.
Parents
They
making a
pull
mess
on
out of your
side of the right of way to pick their kids, so it wasn't all wearing tear on us, but we fixed it.
Yeah,
We
absolutely.
fixed the side and the whole side of the house.
Understand. Ricardo, so just to
Where
clarify.
Where
Yeah.
the car is an oak tree,
Mm-hmm,
and there are a lot of tree stumps there.
mm-hmm.
And so because we park in the garage, only one, if we park, and there's 4 people there that live there that have cars,
So where you're parking in this picture, where the white car is shown,
right?
is that an actual driveway, or are you
Next
parking
to the
beside the
driveway.
existing driveway?
It's next to the,
Next to the existing driveway.
Okay, so that's what the issue is. So when you have the driveway portion, where the driveway is, where you have the cut for your actual concrete driveway, that goes over the right of way and that's got concrete in it. What they're saying is this little portion right behind the car, between the sidewalk and the street, from driving your car up and down next to the driveway, that little square, if you will, has to have grass in it. That right of way is also county right of way. So that portion that the car is driving over needs to be
Can it have
replaced.
multiple-
Between the sidewalk and the street, what you do from the sidewalk
Yeah.
up is
But what I'm trying to ask too, sir, in all the 30-some years we've been living there, there's never been
I know.
that much. You see where the stop sign at? It been grass right there, but that whole little area never been grassy.
I
So
understand.
basically, they want us to put grass down there for them, like we have
Right.
to do the side.
Right. Unfortunately, if 37 years or not, it's still supposed to be there.
Can
If
it
it
have
if it hasn't been, but that's on, whoever was there before you or whatever. So
We see what it is.
so you did all of the replanting of this.
All that grass is grow right there. I did it.
Okay.
I got more grass seeds, so y'all said y'all want that grass.
Can you do the spot right behind the car then, between the concrete and the street?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
might not grow within 30 days.
It might not grow within 30 days. but
That's all right. We can,
I can put it
it's
down.
raining pretty good,
Might
so
be
it
able to see
might get started. So, and I'll give you some extra time for that if you're going to take care of that. And then,
Take care of it.
I guess you'll have to drive in the driveway and then kind of, cut in to park your car or whatever. But if you can by not driving on that section, give it a chance to restore itself. That's the little square we're talking about, correct?
Yes, that's
Ricardo?
correct,
Okay.
yes.
All right. And if they do that, then they're in compliance?
Yes, of
Okay.
course. This is the only part that need to be.
Okay.
You don't need to get the right-of-way permit in this case, so just please do the restoration. I want to give you my card. You call me, I will take the picture to remove the violation. Okay, sir?
So just that little piece right there by the
The
stop
little
sign.
piece before the sidewalk and the roadway.
Yep. All the way over to your driveway. So that little stretch.
Say no
So, Mr. Williams, you think that's 60 days to get established? Let's try 60 days and then just
We can try 60.
stay in touch with Ricardo through the process. And
I'm gonna go jump on it now, so.
the next rain's gonna be, sprouting some grass. So,
Water restriction.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
sorry, ma'am.
What days, can y'all help? What days is water,
Uh-oh.
our water days over here?
My water expert left,
done left.
so I don't,
I need to find out there, cause
Yeah.
water out there. and I
it's
don't
on,
want to come.
well, when you're establishing new grass, you can water every day for 30 days.
Oh, see,
Yeah, so you can go every day for 30 days, plus Mother Nature's gonna give you a hand.
Why they ain't saying nothing about me over there?
So,
She got on me by the dog. You need to find out the water restriction. I say, well, they tell you to put grass down. It can't be no water restriction because they want us to restore this here. Yeah, I told you that, though.
absolutely. Yep.
But, yes, sir.
So just make sure, you understand, I need both of you to respond that you understand
Yeah.
into the microphone. So if you can tip that down for the young lady.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
fantastic. All right, so I'll give you 60 days to get that done. And then just stay in touch with Ricardo through the process and he'll come back out to reinspect it and you'll all be in good shape, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you very much for coming down and explaining it to me. I move in case ROWV 23014. The base name is presented. I find the property is in violation. Hillsborough County Codes of Ordinances listed in staff's presentation. Further, based on the gravity of the violation, the actual name of the violator, and the violator's history, I grant the violator 60 days to plant the additional sod required. And failure to meet that timeline will result in a daily fine of $50 per calendar day. Next case, please.
Number 29, case number ROWV-23015. The owner is Thomas A. Heller, 7407 Providence Road. We have service. Hello, raise your right hand, please. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
And state your name and address.
Tom Heller, 7407 Providence Road, Riverview, 33578.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Ricardo Carnero, Capital Program, Right Away, Public Work. This is the case of the right of way violation, ROWB 23015. Violation address 7407 Providence Road, Riverview, Florida 33578. Violator name Helen Thomas. Violation observed unpermitted construction in the ditch in front of the property. County right of way was filled and piped. Ordinance section violate AC section 92-22 of Hillsborough County right of way use procedure manual. The first inspection August 24, 2022. The first notice of violation August 25, 2022. The second notice April 5, 2023. Mailbox post April 19, 2023. Mailbox post to the hearing June 30, 2023. Last inspection June 30, 2023. Total number of inspection 6. The first photos is a Google Map 2008 with the ditch in front of the property without violation. So the next one was the inspector stormwater to the property and you see the condition, April 24, 2022. This is the mailbox post photo. And this is the last one, June 2023. Still the same condition of the violation condition. Our staff recommendation is that the homeowner must be applied for the right-of-way use permit within 15 calendar days. The remedial work must be completed and the right-of-way final inspection must be approved within 45 calendar days from the receipt of the permit.
Okay, sir, what would you like to add?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
In 2019, I hired a contractor who I thought was a contractor to fill the ditch in front of my house. My house was built in 1999 by Hampton Home Builders, and the construction was financed by Ray Smith. And since then, my property has been flooded more than a dozen times. The constant flooding was undermining my driveway, and I was feeling helpless and angry. It seemed as though the county was turning a blind eye to the problem that was created due to not regulating what home builders were doing to cross the ditch in the right of way in the past. So I did what I thought was necessary to solve my undermining problem. The alteration was easily accomplished with one length of culvert, 2 couplings, fill dirt, sod, a bobcat, labor, and $5,000, which included replacing one of my driveway aprons. The alteration solved my erosion problem and did nothing to exacerbate the flooding situation. I tried to contact the same contractor in 2021 to replace some sod that didn't survive, but his phone number had been disconnected and I had no way of contacting him, so I removed him from my contact list. And I never gave a thought to whether or not he obtained a permit. Since retiring in 2016, I've been living primarily on my Social Security, except in 2018, when I sold a lot in Plant City and put nearly the entire sales amount into updating my home, which included the alteration. I recognize that I should have been more diligent about him acquiring a permit at the time, and I realize that's no excuse. After being notified of the violation, I did nothing, hoping the problem would go away. That was stupid and irresponsible, and for that I am sorry, and I regret having created this whole situation. I'm prepared to work with the county to do whatever is required of me to correct this mistake and put this whole ordeal behind me. I have some pictures of the flooding of my property, if the council would like to see them.
I'd be happy to look at them. Do you have them to leave with us? Okay. Because you heard my spiel about having to take somebody's phone if they're on your phone, so.
That's my story. I'm sticking with it.
Okay. All right. Well, unfortunately, I mean, I understand through all of that, being a homeowner, I understand the frustration, but at the end of the day, obviously filling it in, you lose the ability to catch that whole section that the rain would have fallen on directly as well. So even though you put the culvert in and level it out and did it completely, that additional overflow or whatever will be caught in that basin is unable to be caught. And I understand Florida and their 100-year storms, and yeah, that's a lot of water. And the county should be helping with drainage issues on the street, but that's
They have.
another group.
There is a drainage project that's nearly completed. I think my house is the only one left.
Oh, that's
to be
fantastic.
done. And
You won't be
what
able to
they-
take these pictures anymore.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. Yeah.
Hopefully. And I think it was initiated by the fact that the houses in front of me and below me were all permitted with 12-inch culverts in a ditch that was 3 feet deep, 8 feet wide at the top.
Mhm.
And that's where the flooding all was being
Coming
stopped
from,
up. And
yeah.
by the time it got to my property, it would get all the way up to my garage.
Right. Well, that's,
So when I put the culvert in, it did not exacerbate that situation.
yeah.
Okay, so in my point of view, it's irrelevant, but my point of view is the culvert that I put in there did not make the situation worse.
Yep, understand. Ricardo, as part of the right-of-way permit process, and it'll be reviewed, he'll be able to submit his existing conditions. They'll review that as well in regards to whether or not that can remain, or if there's other modifications that can be done, so he doesn't have to.
Is that correct?
Okay.
He need to apply for the permit and submit the condition, and they review, and I want to tell that exact this is going to be accepted or not, and he need to do anything else.
Okay, excellent.
And do you
So-
think that they're going to approve my 24-inch culvert when they just replaced all the others with 30s?
I don't have the answer, sir, because I need to be evaluated for development service, the other thing. So I don't know, maybe it could be acceptable.
Or they might make you do some modification to this and allow it to remain. I don't
Well, the
know.
only modification would be to rip out everything I've done and replace it with 30-inch culvert.
That would be super frustrating, yes, for sure.
Especially, it cost me $5,000 to do the job. It probably cost me 3 times that much to tear it out and restructure the ditch back to the original contour.
Well, I think as part of this right-of-way permit process, which we're going to go as part of the condition of.
Perfectly
To go
willing to do
through,
that.
you know, you have all of this, so you can write down exactly what's happened and where it's at and how it
I'm sure the
impacts.
county knows exactly what's been going on. That's why they did.
I'm
the
sure they do too,
drainage
but
project.
I would recommend that you make sure to make a strong case for what you've already put in there, and maybe there's some sort of middle ground that they can make you do modifications and not have to remove the whole thing or
Okay,
whatever it is.
so I know where to
So,
go.
Yeah, so.
Yes, sorry, in the good scenario, you is stormwater thing approve the pipe. Maybe just the only that you need to do is build the miter end section in both sides.
Build a what?
The
mitered end.
miter end section.
Yeah, because my culverts are square-ended.
Exactly. This is, if they accept the culvert, the only that you need to do is
That
build
would
the
be an
miter
easy
end
thing
in
to do.
both
I would
sides.
have to tear out my concrete,
Your driveway, which you already
Caps.
did once. Oh, yeah.
not the driveway, but the caps on the culvert. I might have to tear them out to adjoin the tapers to them.
I'm going to
That
give
would
you,
be a simple solution.
yes.
I hope that's something they can work forward with you. Unfortunately, I'm just on the,
I hope so.
I'm just on the enforcement end, so, but I will, I'll give you some additional time. I think 15 days in order to apply for the permit might be a little strong. So I'll give you 30 days to get the permit submitted, and that way you can get all your ducks in a row and your pictures and
I'll get on this
all that kind of
immediately.
stuff. That's fine, but I don't like to give that, I mean, it'll take a couple days just for the notice to come out, so that makes a stress on my ladies too, so I don't like that. So we're gonna do 30 days on the submit for the permit, and then, what did you say, 45 days for after permit? Yeah, so we'll do
May
30
have to work with me on that, depending on how long, if I have to put the tapers on there. It may take a little longer than that to get the tapers.
Well, I'll give you 60 days on the back end of that, and that, I mean, obviously, you're gonna be working towards it. There's the actual time process of doing the permit and all those kind of things.
I want this to go away, so I'm gonna do whatever I have to do.
Yeah, no, I understand, and I understand it's a cost that you weren't budgeting for, so.
No, and the
it's not-
original notices said, it was very explicit that I was gonna have to tear it all out. Well, I almost had a heart attack.
Well, please do not do that. I don't want that on our conscience. So it's not that bad. We can get through this. So, okay, so that's what I'll do. I'll give you 30 days to submit for permit. I'll give you 60 days after permit, whatever they come up with that you guys talk about, negotiate out, and then 60 days to complete that work.
Thank you.
Okay? All right. Thank you, Mr. Heller, for coming down and explaining it to me. I appreciate it.
Very good.
I rule in case ROWV 23015, the based on the evidence presented, I find the property is in violation of Hillsborough County Codes or ordinances listed in staff's presentation. Further, based on the gravity of the violation, the action taken by the violator, and the violator's history, I require the violator to submit for a right-of-way permit within 30 calendar days. And then after receipt of permit, for the violator to complete all the remedial work within 60 calendar days after receipt of permit. Failure to meet any of the timelines listed above result in a daily fine of $100 per calendar day. Thank you, sir. Have a great weekend.
Have a good weekend.
You too. Next case, please.
Page 17, number 34. Case number ROWV-23021. The owner is Antonio Silva Valdez, 2347 Merrily Circle. We have service, and Mr. Valdez is here. Good morning, or good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Habits. Raise your right hand, please. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
And state your name and address.
Antonio Silva Valdez, 2347 Merrily Circle, South Sefner, Florida, 33584.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Ricardo Carnero, Capital Program, Right-of-Way, Public Work. This is the case ROWB 23021. Violation address 2347 Merrily Chairs, Sefner, Florida, 33584. Violator name, Valdez Antonio Silva. Violator, sir, an unpermitted work, concrete work within county right-of-way. Ordinance section violate AC section 92-22 of Hillsborough County right-of-way use procedure manual. The first inspection was on November 4, 2022. The first notice of violation was sent to the property November 9, 2022. The second notice, April 19, 2023. Mailbox post in May 8, 2023. Last inspection was July 11, 2023, with the total number of inspection conduct 5. This is a sample of the Google Map 2011, the condition before. And this is the inspection performed November 4, 2022. The same day inspection. This is a day that was posted in the mailbox. And this is the last one inspection in July 12, 2023. A staff recommendation is the homeowner must be applied for a right-of-way use permit within 15 calendar days. The remedial work must be completed and the right-of-way final inspection must be approved within 45 calendar days from receipt of the permit.
Okay, and just to confirm, I mean, I understand that the extension of the driveway and the removal of the yard is a violation, not for right-of-way, but the portion that we're dealing with today is just between the roadway and the sidewalk for right-of-way?
Between the top of the sidewalk to the roadway.
Okay.
That's the part of the right-of-way.
Except for the portion for which the actual driveway was
correct
originally done. Okay, all right. Sir, what would you like to tell me?
No, I agree. I had a person that I found on Marketplace. He's supposed to be a professional. He said he would do the lines and all that. By the time I realized I was giving him money without working. So he actually left all the garbage that you can see in one of the pictures. He never come back. Then I got the letters. It's the first time for me. So I don't even know how to do the permit or where. So whatever needs to be done, it will be.
Okay. All right. Well, the good news is Mr. Ricardo is really good at that process, so he'll give you his contact information to get with him in regards to actually submitting for the right-of-way permit. But then you'll submit the paperwork, and then you'll basically have to remove that section of driveway that's put in between the sidewalk and the street, outside the parameter of where your original driveway was.
Already made some correction. I talked to her supervisor, Elibe Gomez, I think it is, right? And I already hired somebody and cut some of the concrete, throw it away, and put grass in it. I don't know if it'll be enough or not.
Sure.
You would need to tell me. And
Yeah, as you go through the permit process, you can show them what you've done and do measurements and then submit that like a little site plan saying this is what I've done and this is what's out here now, and take pictures and then submit it, and then they'll let you know whether that's enough or if there's more that you need to do. So, right. Again, we're pressing a lot of folks by having these right-of-way permits within 15 calendar days. So I'm going to give you 30 days to get with them, to get the permit in and submitted, because I know you're already on it. You're already doing work to get it remediated. So, and then after your permit process is done, once they give you a final recommendation on what needs to be done as part of the permit, you'll have 45 days to complete that work. Okay.
After that.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, excellent. So anything else you'd like to add? I don't want to cut you short, but you sound like you've got it together. The other one was a little, but.
Well, I wish I got more proof and more documentation, and I know it's wrong, so we need to fix it.
Right.
That's it.
Understand. No, I appreciate it. Appreciate the open and honesty and coming down and explaining it to me, sir.
So, thank you.
Thank you very much. I rule in case ROWV 23021 that based on the evidence presented, the find the property is in violation of Hillsborough County codes or ordinances listed in staff's presentation. Further, based on the gravity of the violation, the action taken by the violator and the violator's history, I grant the violator 30 calendar days to apply for a right-of-way use permit. After receipt of permit, the violator has 45 calendar days to complete the remedial work. Failure to meet either of those deadlines listed above result in a daily fine of $100 per calendar day. Thanks, sir. Have a great weekend. Next case, please. Back to the top.
And that does clear out the citizens in the audience, I believe.
All right. Seeing that no one is present in the audience for the remaining cases on the agenda, I will now review the case materials previously provided by county staff. And if I find property is in violation of Hillsborough County codes or ordinances as listed in staff's presentation, my ruling in each case will be based on the evidence presented on the gravity of violation, the action taken by the violator and the violator's history, and determine the amount of fine that will be assessed.
Turn to page 7, number 15. Case number L217232. The owner is Clendening Enterprises LLC, 608 Hartford Street. We have service and no one is present.
Somebody wake Tony up.
I'm awake.
Okay.
Good afternoon, Cameron Ward with Hillsborough County Natural Resources Environmental Specialist, presenting case L217232. Owner violator Clendening Enterprises LLC, violation address 6807 Hartford Street, Tampa. Violation observed. The investigation found that 6 oak trees measuring 22 inches diameter at breast height each for a combined total of 132 inches DBH were removed without a permit. The investigation also found that unpermitted fill, gravel material, which is causing adverse impacts to the neighboring properties, has been brought onto the property. Ordinance violated section 4.01, first inspection December 7, 2021, first notice August 5, 2022, last inspection July 12, 2023, total inspections conducted 3. I'll now turn it over to the inspector.
Good afternoon. Tony Hood, Hillsborough County Natural Resources. We received a complaint that fill material was brought onto the property as well as tree removal. With the fill being brought on, the complainant was stating that her property is flooding as a result of it. Here's a photograph I took December 7th, 2021, showing the gravel and fill dirt on the property. Next slide. Here's a picture showing the depth and the different layers of the fill that was brought onto the property. Again, December 7th, 2021. Next slide. Here's another shot of the property. In the red squares is piles of fill that have not been spread out yet. Next slide. Here's an aerial taken from the property appraiser showing the tree removal. On the left, January 25th, 2020 shows trees on the property. And if you compare them to the photograph December 4th, 2022, it shows trees removed. Next slide. Recheck done July 11th, 2023. Properties in the same state, no new plantings. Next slide.
Staff recommendation for case L217232, Part 1, submit a natural resources permit application to address the land alterations within 30 calendar days or restore property back to original grades within 30 calendar days. Part 2, obtain the natural resources permit and complete the construction activities and final inspection approval per the permit requirements within 120 calendar days. Plant/donate 132 inches DBH of approved shade restoration trees or contribute 132 inches to the restoration fund or combination of planting/donations and contributions to the fund within 120 calendar days. Trees must be 1 inch DBH or larger, a minimum of 8 feet in height, Florida grade number 1, chosen from the Hillsborough County approved tree list as appropriate. Contribution to the fund equates to $65 per DBH inch. The violator will be responsible for this violation. Fines will be issued for failure to meet timeframes.
Tony, any communication with the owner on this?
Yes, actually, just recently actually Wayne was contacted about the tree restoration. No communication with me and no communication resolving the fill brought onto the property.
Okay,
I haven't been able to get in contact with them personally.
gotcha. Wayne, anything you want to add?
Wayne Dyer, Hillsborough County Natural Resources. I was contacted by a tree company, not the owners of the property. He's a friend and he wanted to know what they need to do to fix the tree violation portion. So I gave him all the info on donations and replantings, or if they wanted to pay to the fund. For the fill, he didn't have any ideas about that.
Okay, so just for clarification, the staff recommendations, Part 1 and Part 2 are required. They're not options, correct?
Right.
So we're restoring and we're adding the tree violation?
Yes, so for Part 1, for the fill wise, they can just restore it back to original grade, or they can submit the paperwork. So either one of them during Part 1 will close that out. So if they submit, then that jumps to Part 2 for the obtain natural resources permit. And then Part 2 will cover also the trees because it takes a little longer to take care of that issues.
If we could make it that Part 3, because if they choose not to do the permit application, that would eliminate the need for Part 2. So it'd be better to split it up into 3 separate.
Okay.
Okay.
No. Sorry, I missed you there. So you want Part 1 to be submit the permit application, Part 2 to be the natural resource permit, and then or restore property back to original grades? I mean, they still have the tree violation.
You do the tree as a separate thing to itself, so it's not dependent
I see. Okay. All right. Got you. Okay. Makes sense. I can do that. All right. I'll go ahead and roll. I roll in case L217232 that basically Hillsborough and I find the property is in violation of Hillsborough County Codes ordinances listed in staff's presentation. Further, based on the violation, the action taken by the violator and the violator's history, I concur with staff's recommendations and require the violator to Part 1 submit a natural resources permit application to address the land alterations within 30 calendar days or restore property back to original grades within 30 calendar days. Part 2, to obtain the natural resources permit and complete construction activities and final inspection approval per the permit requirements within 120 calendar days. And Part 3, plant or donate 132 inches DBH of approved shade restoration trees, or contribute 132 inches to the restoration fund, or combination of plantings and donations and contribution to the fund within 120 calendar days. Trees must be 1 inch DBH or larger, minimum of 8 feet in height, Florida grade 1, chosen from the Hillsborough County approved tree list as appropriate. Contribution to the fund equates to $65 per DBH inch. Violator will be responsible for this violation. Failure to meet any of the timelines listed above result in a fine of $200 per calendar, $225 per calendar day. Next case.
Page 8, number 16, L227394. This case complied June 30th, 2023. Page 9, number 18, L227458. The owner is KC Coastal LLC, 811 North US Highway 41. We have service and no one is present.
Good afternoon, Cameron Ward, Hillsborough County Natural Resources Environmental Specialist, presenting case L227458. Owner violator KC Coastal LLC, violation address 811 North 41 Highway, Ruskin. Violation observed, unpermitted land alteration and commercial operation without site plan approval. Ordinance violated section 4.01, first inspection May 12, 2022. First notice July 21, 2022. Last inspection July 6, 2023. Total inspections conducted 3. I'll now turn it over to the inspector, John Beavers.
John Beavers, Environmental Investigations Supervisor. This is a Google image dated 2022 showing the startup of a commercial business on the east side of US Highway 41 in Ruskin. Follow-up inspection from the complaint dated May 12th, just taking a picture of some of the site improvements of this new commercial property. Another angle looking northeast from same date, May 12th, 2022. Final inspection July 6th, just taking another angle from the rear of the commercial project, showing site equipment and activity on this unpermitted site.
Staff recommendation for case L227458, submit a natural resources permit application for commercial activities to address the violations within 90 calendar days. Obtain the natural resources permit, complete construction activities, and final inspection approval per the permit requirements within 11 months, or remove all impervious materials and restore site back to natural state within 90 calendar days. The violator is responsible for resolving this matter with the county. Fines will be issued for failure to meet timeframes.
It's going to sound silly, but what is the actual violation here? That they're providing the fill material for the parking lot?
They paved the entire lot and started up a commercial business without the benefit of the review from Hillsborough County or any of the permitting.
Perfect.
So no retention pond, traffic hasn't looked at. Yeah.
Right. So complete failure to review. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Makes sense. Any communication with the owner through this process?
I have. I spoke to a representative just a few days ago, and she said that the owner was expected to be here today, but that they just wanted to get in compliance. So they.
Oh, I like that. Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent. I concur with staff's recommendations on case L227458. Require the violator to submit a natural resources permit application for commercial activities to address the violations within 90 calendar days. Obtain the natural resources permit, complete construction activities, and final inspection approval with permit requirements within 11 months, or Remove all impervious materials and restore site back to natural state within 90 calendar days. Failure to meet either of the timelines listed above result in a daily fine of $225 per calendar day.
Does the 11 months run from today or from the day the permit is approved?
No, I think that's inclusive of the permit process. 11
From,
months,
yeah,
obviously.
that's as a whole, 11 months.
Yeah,
Okay,
inclusive. Yep,
so from today then?
correct.
Okay.
Next case.
Next case is number 19, L227483. The owner is Charles D. DeVore Jr., and the property is a vacant residential lot at Carmen's Casa del Sol Rio subdivision in Riverview, Florida. We have service and no one is present.
Good afternoon, Cameron Ward, Environmental Specialist, presenting case L227483 for Hillsborough County Natural Resources. Owner violator Charles D. DeVore Jr., violation address folio 075381-0000 Riverview. Violation observed, 1 12-inch DBH oak and 8 sable palms were removed without permit. Ordinance violated section 4.01, first inspection June 1, 2022, first notice August 23, 2022, last inspection July 10, 2023, total inspections conducted 3.
John Beavers, Environmental Investigation Supervisor. This is a Google image from November 2018 showing this corner lot wooded with, vegetated with native sable palms and at least a 12-inch oak tree in the background. June 1st, I investigated this site after the complaint was taken in, showing just complete removal of all vegetation on this corner lot. Another angle, looking north of just the vegetation, primarily sable and native sable palm trees that were just pushed into a pile. Then a follow-up inspection on July 10th, 2023. No site improvements except for 1 bird feeder.
The staff recommendations for case L227483, plant/donate 12 inches DBH of approved shade restoration trees and 8 sable palms at 13 inches each for a total of 116 inches DBH, or contribute $7,540 to the restoration fund, or combination of planting/donations and contributions to the fund within 90 calendar days. Trees must be 1 inch DBH or larger, a minimum of 8 feet in height. Palms must be 8 feet clear trunk, Florida grade number 1, chosen from the Hillsborough County approved tree lists as appropriate. Contributions to the fund equates to $65 per DBH inch. The owner will be responsible for this violation. Fines will be issued for failure to meet timeframes.
Communication with the owner, John, at all?
None. Absolutely not.
Zero? Okay.
Zero.
Good to know. I rule in case L227483 that basically must find the violator probably in violation of Hillsborough County Codes of Ordinances listed in staff's presentation. Further, based on the gravity of the violation, the action taken by the violator and the violator's history, I concur with staff's recommendations and require the violator to plant/donate 12 inches DBH of approved shade restoration trees and 8 sable palms at 13 inch each for a total of 116 inches DBH, or contribute $7,540 to the restoration fund, or combination of plantings, donations, and contribution to the fund within 90 calendar days. Trees must be 1 inch DBH or larger, a minimum of 8 feet in height. Palms must be 8 feet clear trunk, Florida grade 1, chosen from Hillsborough County approved tree list as appropriate. Contribution to the fund equates to $65 per DBH inch. The owner will be responsible for this violation. Failure to meet any of the timelines listed above result in a daily fine of $325 per calendar day.
Page 10, number 20, L227508. The owner is Astor Avenue LLC. I don't know what the location is. It's folio number 046744.0000. I'll let the department describe the location. We have service and no one is present.
Afternoon, Cameron Ward, Environmental Specialist with Hillsborough County Natural Resources, presenting case L227508. Owner violator Astor Ave LLC, violation address folio 046744-0000, Tampa. Violation observed. The investigation found that 6 oak trees measuring 38 inches diameter at breast height, 16-inch DBH, 4 oaks each measuring 6 inches DBH, as well as 1 pecan tree measuring 12 inches DBH for a combined total of 90 inches DBH were removed without a tree removal permit. Ordinance violated section 4.01, first inspection June 6, 2022, first notice June 17, 2022, last inspection July 3, 2023, total inspections conducted 2. I'll now turn it over to the inspector.
Good afternoon, Tony Hood, Hillsborough County Natural Resources. Next slide. Received a complaint that the property had removed trees. Here's an aerial, one on the left, December 29, 2021, showing trees on the property. And the picture on the right, December 2nd, 2022, showing the trees removed off the property. Next slide. Here's a site plan showing the trees that were on the property. All of them have been removed. Next slide. Here's a picture of the property taken June 6, 2022, showing that there are no trees on the property. Next slide. And a recheck done July 3rd, 2023, shows no new plantings on the property. I would like to add, though, I have been in contact with the property owner. He has put in a permit to build a house and has agreed to pay the inches through the permitting process.
Okay.
Next slide. Sorry, next slide. That's it.
Staff recommendations for case L227508. Plant 90 inches DBH of approved shade restoration trees or contribute 90 inches to the restoration fund or combination of plantings and contributions to the fund within 90 calendar days. Trees must be 1 inch DBH or larger, a minimum of 8 feet in height. Florida grade number 1, chosen from the Hillsborough County approved tree lists as appropriate. Contribution to the fund equates to $65 per DBH inch. The property owner will be responsible for this violation. Fines will be issued for failure to meet timeframes.
I rule on case L227508 that I concur with staff's recommendations require the violator to plant 90 inches DBH of approved shade restoration trees or contribute 90 inches to the restoration fund or combination of plantings and contribution to the fund within 90 calendar days. Trees must be 1 inch DBH or larger, a minimum of 8 feet in height, Florida grade 1, chosen from the Hillsborough County approved tree list as appropriate. Contribution to the fund equates to $65 per DBH inch. Property owner will be responsible for this violation. Failure to meet any of the timelines listed above result in a daily fine of $175 per calendar day.
Number 21, L227570. The owner is Icon Florida Tampa Industrial Owner Pool 5 GA/FL LLC. Location 3502 Queen Palm Drive. We have service and no one is present.
Good afternoon. Cameron Ward, Environmental Specialist with Hillsborough County Natural Resources, presenting case L227570. Owner violator, Icon Florida Tampa Industrial Owner Pool 5 Georgia/Florida LLC. Violation address 3502 Queen Palm Drive, Tampa. Violation observed. The investigation found that 1 29-inch diameter at breast height laurel oak was removed without a tree removal permit. Ordinance violated section 4.01. First inspection August 1, 2022. First notice August 17, 2022. Last inspection July 11, 2023. Total inspections conducted 3. I'll now turn it over to the inspector.
Good afternoon, Tony Hood, Hillsborough County Natural Resources. Responded to a complaint that a tree was removed from the property. Here's a Google image showing with the red X the tree that was removed. Next slide. Here's a picture taken August 1st, 2022. The tree, the stump. Next slide. Recheck done July 11th, 2023. No new plantings on the property. Next slide.
Staff recommendations for case L227570, plant 29 inches DBH of approved shade restoration trees or contribute 29 inches to the restoration fund or combination of plantings and contributions to the fund within 90 calendar days. Trees must be 1 inch DBH or larger, a minimum of 8 feet in height, Florida grade number 1, chosen from the Hillsborough County approved tree list as appropriate. Contribution to the fund equates to $65 per DBH inch. The property owner will be responsible for this violation. Fines will be issued for failure to meet timeframes.
Communication with the owner, Tony?
No, sir. I haven't heard a word
Thank you.
from him.
Okay. I understand. Thank you. I rule in case L227570. Require the violator to find them in violation, require the violator to plant 29 inches DBH of approved shade restoration trees or contribute 29 inches to the restoration fund or combination of plantings and contribution to the fund within 60 calendar days. Trees must be 1 inch DBH or larger, a minimum of 8 feet in height, Florida grade 1, chosen from the Hillsborough County approved tree list as appropriate. Contribution to the fund equates to $65 per DBH inch. Property owner will be responsible for this violation. Failure to meet any of the timelines listed above result in a daily fine of $300 per calendar day.
Make sure I heard that right. You changed it to 60, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank
60
you.
days,
Okay.
$300 per calendar day.
Page 11, number 23, L227644. The owner is Robert Babas and Jeanette Babas. The violator, Gary's Tree Service. 16610 Calico Place is the location of the violation. We have service and no one is present.
Good afternoon. Cameron Ward, Environmental Specialist with Hillsborough County Natural Resources, presenting case L227644. Owner Babas Robert / Babas Jeanette. Violator Gary's Tree Service. Violation address 16610 Calico Place, Tampa. Violation observed. Unpermitted removal of 132 inch DBH laurel oak. Ordinance violated section 4.01. First inspection October 5, 2022. First notice October 18, 2022. Last inspection June 30, 2023. Total inspections conducted 3. I'll now turn it over to the inspector, Wayne Doyen.
Wayne Doyen, Hillsborough County Natural Resources. I went out to this complaint. I took this from Google Street View. Older laurel oak. Next slide. On September 8, 2022, I did arrive at this property while they were finishing cutting this tree. As soon as I showed up, they were about to start on the back tree, which I did stop them, and they took off. They did give me the number to the owner of the company, Gary, but I did talk to the homeowners, which are elderly individuals. They believe that the tree company was going to get the permits, actually, they used the whole House Bill 1159 thing. Oh, I don't need a permit because it's dangerous. So they played these old people. As soon as I found out it was Gary's Tree Service, I've already dealt with them multiple times. I've never been able to track them down until now, and I'm glad I did. 2 other homeowners ended up paying the fine because we couldn't track them down. But for this day, I did measure the stump, 32-inch DBH laurel oak. Next slide. My recheck June 30th, no new trees. I did talk to the daughter. She has pulled her parents out to live with her. She didn't think they should be on their own. Next slide.
Staff recommendations for case L227644, plant/donate 32 inches DBH of approved shade restoration trees or contribute $2,080 to the restoration fund or combination of planting/donations and contribution to the fund within 90 calendar days. Trees must be 1 inch DBH or larger, a minimum of 8 feet in height, Florida grade number 1, chosen from the Hillsborough County approved tree lists as appropriate. Contribution to the fund equates to $65 per DBH inch. The violator, Gary's Tree Service, will be responsible for this violation. Fines will be issued for failure to meet timeframes.
And we have service?
Yes, we do.
Thank you. Okay. I rule in case L 227644, based on the evidence presented, I concur with staff's recommendations to require the violator to be Gary's Tree Service to plant, donate 32 inches DBH of approved shade restoration trees or contribute $2,080 to the restoration fund or a combination of plantings/donations and contribution to the fund within 45 calendar days. Trees must be 1 inch DBH or larger, a minimum of 8 feet in height, Florida grade 1, chosen from the Hillsborough County approved tree list as appropriate. Contribution to the fund equates to $65 per DBH inch. The violator, Gary's Tree Service, will be responsible for this violation. Based on the actions taken by the violator, the daily fine will be $1,000 per calendar day. Next case, please.
Okay, that was the last of the L cases. So the next case then is going to be on page 12, number 25, case number ROWV-23009. The owner is A&K Tire Shop and Repairs Corporation. Location 12007 Vermilion Way. We have service and no one is present.
Good afternoon, Ricardo Carnero, Capital Program, Right Away Public Work. This is the case ROWB 23009. Violation address 12007 Vermilion Way, Riverview, Florida 33569. Violator name A&K Tire Shop and Repair Corporation. Violator mailing address 5406 North Nebraska Avenue, Tampa, Florida 33604. Ordinance violate AC Section 92-22 of Hillsborough County Right-of-Way Use Procedure Manual. Deferred inspection November 22nd, 2022. The second deference will be February 9, 2022. The second NOB 15, 2022, February. Mailbox post in June 30, 2023. Last inspection, July 12, 2023. Total number of inspection 6. The first photo is the Google Map 2019, before any violation of the property. The second one, they used to do any installation inside the property, crossing heavy equipment over the sidewalk and damaging one panel of the sidewalk, and creating an issue with the dirty ground to the roadway. This is other inspection, November 22nd, 2022. Everything was restored except the sidewalk panel. We post mailbox February 15. This is the post on the address, mailing address, location that is a business. And this is the last one, still the sidewalk panel damage. Staff recommendation, the homeowner must apply and obtain the right-of-way use permit within 15 calendar days. One permit is issued, the remedial work must be completed, and the right-of-way final inspection must be approved within 13 calendar days.
Everyone, case ROWB 23009, based on.
I cannot hear the person.
Sorry about that. I'm very sorry. I rule in case ROWV 23009 that based on the evidence presented, I find the property is in violation and concur with staff's recommendations to require the homeowner to apply for a right-of-way use permit within 30 calendar days. I'm going to stay consistent with that. 30 calendar days. Once permit is issued, the remedial work must be completed and the right-of-way final inspection must be approved within 30 calendar days. Failure to meet any of the timelines listed above result in a daily fine of $100 per calendar day. Next case, please.
Page 13, number 26, ROWV-23011. This case complied July 12, 2023. Number 27, ROWV-23012. The owner is Patricia Reel, 4516 24th Avenue South. We have service and no one is present.
This is a case of violation right away, ROWB 23012. Violation address 4516 24th Avenue South, Tampa 33619. Violator A, Real Patricia. Violation observed. Unpermitted parking item and construction in the county right away. Ordinance section violate AC section 92-22 of Hillsborough County right away use procedure manner. The first inspection was January 27, 2023. The first notice of violation was sent to the property in January 27, the same day, 2023. The second NOV, February 21st, 2023. The first mailbox post, March 16, 2023. Second hearing court note post, and the last inspection, July 11, and total number of inspection 6. This is the condition, the right away before, Google Map 2019. This is the photo, the inspector, January 27, 2023, the same day. The next one, yes. This is the same photo, the same inspection, the first day. One more inspection, March 16. And this is the last photo, July 11, 2023. A staff recommendation, the homeowner must be applied for a right-of-way use permit within 15 calendar days. The remedial work must be completed, and the right-of-way final inspection must be approved within 30 calendar days from receipt of the permit.
I rule in case ROWV 23012 that I concur with staff's recommendations require the violator to apply for a right-of-way use permit within 30 calendar days. The remedial work must be completed, and the right-of-way final inspection must be approved within 30 calendar days from receipt of permit. 30/30. Failure to meet any of the timelines listed above result in a daily fine of $100 per calendar day.
In this case, nobody communicate with the county.
Thank you. Next case.
Page 15, number 30, ROWV-23016. The owners, Gloria Amelia Gonzalez Amaya, Jose Carlos Lopez Chavez Saez. Location 10313 Orchard Hills Court. We have service and no one is present.
This is the case of violation right away, ROWB 23016. Violation address 10313 Ocean Hill, Tampa, Florida 33615. Violator name, Amaya Gloria Amelia Gonzalez, Saez Jose Carlos Lopez Chavez. Violation observed. The green belt grass was replaced by concrete around the utility boxes, causing inaccessible area in the right of way. Ordinance section violate AC section 92-22 of Hillsborough County right of way use procedure manner. The first inspection May 10, 2022. The first notice of violation May 13, 2022. The second notice September 1st, 2022. Mailbox post April 27, 2023. The last inspection, July 13, 2023. Total number of inspection 5. That's the Google Map condition before 2011. This is the photo that is not totally clear, but it's indicated that in that section here was in May 10, 2022. The fiber optic over over the sidewalk because it's impossible to do the right connection covered with concrete. In this case, was a communication with the county. They applied for permit. Permit was approved. Final inspection was approved. And this is the photo. You can see they removed the concrete around the mailboxes that in that specific location is really important. And after final inspection, the county approved, everything was fine, except after that, they come back and put the paper again. This is the photo, April 19, 2023.
Wow.
This is a violation, April 27, 2023. After that, it's clear all the area is inaccessible for the utility. Come back to the violation situation. So in this case, the homeowner must be applied. This is a staff recommendation. Homeowner must be applied for a new right-of-way use permit within 15 calendar days. Remedial work must be completed, and the right-of-way final inspection must be approved within 30 calendar days from receipt of the permit.
So they've already been through this process once, the permit process and approval and all that kind of stuff.
In this case, they need to apply for the new permit.
I understand. I'm just saying, I kind of agree with you on the 15 calendar days because they already know what they're doing. So, okay. I rule in case ROWV 23016 that I concur with staff's recommendations and require the violator homeowner to apply for a new right-of-way use permit within 15 calendar days. The remedial work must be completed and the final right-of-way final inspection must be approved within 30 calendar days from receipt of permit. Failure to meet any of the timelines listed above results in a fine of $400 per calendar day. Next case, please.
Number 31, ROWV-23018. This case was pulled per staff. Number 16, page 16, number 32, ROWV-23019. This case complied July 13, 2023. Number 33, ROWV-23020. This case complied July 12, 2023. Page 17, number 35, ROWV-23022. This case complied July 11, 2023. And that concludes the agenda.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen online, for participating with us today. This meeting is adjourned.
Thank you.